Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and we are on location. That's right, the man with no name has graciously invited us into his lair. Thank you, man.
No problem, brother. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, and I see you have dressed up for the occasion. Look, stand up. Show these people, this outfit here, because, oh my God, man with no name's got a little bit of class, style, sophistication. So, hell yes. So, thank you, my man.
No problem, man.
And, of course, I'm joined by my lovely girlfriend, Maya. Say what's up.
What's up?
Now, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reviewing Dead End and Trick or Treat. The 2007 Trick or Treat, Not to be confused with
Oh, wait. It's not the one with Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne?
They are, and not only that, they're the main characters of the movie, too. I mean, it's insane. I mean, they...
Oh, I'm out. I'm gone.
I realized something. We actually reviewed Trick or Treat. Well, maybe we didn't, actually. I think of someone else I reviewed that with, actually. Yeah, it wasn't you. Never mind.
I think I saw that episode. The long blonde hair.
Got the long blonde hair, yes. Okay, that's who I did it with.
Was it a band or something?
He was in a band, Open Grave,
Okay,
so,
yeah.
But, yes, but today we're going to be hitting up Dead End and Trick or Treat. So, let's get right into this. Now, normally, like on the old, because this is the first review we're actually doing, like legit, long review, since we've been back.
Oh, wow.
And,
even more honored.
Oh, I'm honored to have you on the show.
Awesome.
Now, typically, whenever I do these things, I jump right in. And I just run my fucking mouth forever. And I usually say shit that everybody else is already thinking. So then, when it gets to the next person, they really have not much of a review. And I'm like, that's a horrible host. I'm kind of taking everything first. So I decided from here on out, I'm going to go last instead of normally going first. So, you're the guest. Dead End. Please, give us your review.
A movie that, I'll tell you this. It's relatively new, 2003.
2003, but you know what? It's past that 10-year buffer.
We can do the spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
All right,
so,
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, guys.
At first, this is a movie that I thought, like the road that they're on in this movie, it never ends. And this movie was clocked in, I think, in an hour and 19 minutes,
Yeah.
which I was surprised by and felt like 4.5 hours. But the ending, without giving too much away, we'll get into that.
Well, yeah, we're going to dissect the whole ending.
This is just a general review right now. So,
yeah. Just
was an absolute payoff, and I would say just a generic out of 10. Like, I give it a 7 out of 10.
far out.
I definitely see it. It drags on a little bit, but just be patient. Be patient.
All right, far out.
Absolutely.
Sweetie, what about you?
I liked it, but I don't like how they didn't point the camera at the dead people. Get to see their face.
Now, see, I did
That's
like
funny.
that.
I thought the same thing.
See,
actually.
okay, so you were on. See,
Yeah, I'm a gore freak here, so.
to me, I feel like that's probably due more to the low budget, but also it kind of let the imagination run wild, because especially that first guy, Brad, when you're just like just the reaction on the mom, dad, the brother's face, and when they're trying to get the cell phone up. I don't know. To me, I'm picturing like this dude's basically a fucking puddle of meat and bone, and there's a cell phone just sticking, and so they're trying to get the cell phone, and I don't know. To me, that was better than what they would have shown. Which
It's what's implied.
it really is.
Yeah.
And I think even with the when they later on they find the son, he's burnt up. Same thing. You only see like his hand, but you're just like, dude, that's all fucked up. Like he is literally beyond recognition, just fucking burnt. But once again, they don't show you. It's just what you see there. When I came out and watched this movie initially, I popped it in. I had high hopes. I really did. And I don't know why. Because honestly, and I'm not trying to be, clearly I'm showing poser colors here. I didn't know what the fuck this movie was at all. Like, I have never heard of Dead End. Assumed it was some kind of straight to video, whatever. I did recognize the two leads. Ray Wise, which was in Twin Peaks. He was the dad in Twin Peaks. Can't think of the dude's name. Something Palmer. And then he was also in Swamp Thing as Swamp Thing. And then, of course, Lynn Shay, who has gotten recent, notoriety for being the psychic woman in the Insidious trilogy. So,
I just went to Detroit Rock City.
Oh yeah, she was. Man. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Well, what movie what year and I was her in it? It was a real shit movie. Oh, it was the no, I'm not gonna bring that up. That was a shit movie. Anyways, so but I was just like, okay, this is clearly this low budget, but I still, I mean, I don't know, it had a good look to it. You know what I mean? Like I don't like. To me, I just like dead end. Let's do this. And it's the most basic of plots, but I'm not gonna lie. Now I can't really speak for anybody else in this trio, and I'm not trying to be like all cocky. I saw that ending coming a mile fucking way, and I'll tell you why. In the
You
Hitcher,
sound like everybody that watched the first two Saws.
I know, I did. In the Hitcher, there's a scene where when the fucking the little guy, I can't think of his name right now. I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, the main character, when he nods off, at the wheel, and then he had that near-death experience. A lot of interpretation in that movie has said like he died there. Now, I mean, the movie I thought was pretty straightforward. At least the Hitcher I'm talking about was very straightforward. I mean, I don't think that's a part of it or anything like that. But they're like, why is the Hitcher following this guy? And a lot of people have said that like he's dead and this guy's trying to bring him to the other side or whatever. Rutger Hauer playing the crazed Hitcher. So as I'm watching this movie, right off the fucking bat, like early, like first 2-3 minutes, after the credits, you get the whoa, and they almost hit in their car, and I'm like, they're fucking dead from here on out. But then when they start getting picked off one by one, because when you have a group that's dead, or when they're alive but they're getting picked off, but they're really supposed to be dead, we enter what I like to call the Soul Survivor realm. And if you guys ever seen the movie Soul Survivors, same basic premise, spoiler alert, sorry, but it's also like 2001 or something like that, where basically a group of teens are in a bad accident. But then, of course, we cut to, a month or so after the accident. And, one of them died, but the rest of them are still living. In reality, 2 of them has died. The main girl, she's in that limbo world. And the one that was supposed to die, Casey Affleck, by the way, he's actually on the outside waiting for, oh, not Casey Affleck, sorry, Wes Bentley. It don't matter, they're the same fucking person. But they're trying to pull him through. And, so just seeing those two movies right there, I didn't say that we were watching it, and I think I did mention about midway through, but at that point it was already so clear. But what it is after that, that near death, that brush they have with death, they are on this road, and they see the woman in white, or the lady in white. This is a legend that goes back, a long time, and they don't really necessarily go with this, but it makes you think that's what it is. Like it's the lady in white. The old legend. They're on. In fact, the way I heard it was always like the old stagecoach pioneer days, and travelers going down the road, and a woman in white's there, and they pick her up or whatever. And as they're going, they're talking. She's not really talking back, but then they get to their destination. They let her out, and when they get there, through their destination, they're just like, "Well, I'll pick up this woman." And they start going through the story, and everybody in the town's like quiet, and they're like, like, what do we mean? What do you mean? He's like, dude, she's been dead for 20 years, and they're like, oh no, it's a big twist. And, the story's been updated numerous times, sometimes,
it's Large Marge and the Pee-wee.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. It's a time that's, as old, or as a tale as, old as time itself. So you already kind of know that's part of it right there. And, of course, they find this, woman wondering with her baby. One of the best scenes, too, because whenever there's a scene where they pull over to try to get help, and they leave Brad and he did look so gay. He wasn't gay, but he looked it, and the young son just busts his balls all the time. In the car with her, and of course she's like here hold the baby, and it's wrapped up, and he's just like how's the baby even breathing? And she's like, well, you don't have to worry about that because the baby's dead. Oh, and I'm like, yes, because I'm always a big fan of dead babies. You throw a dead baby in any movie. I'm not gonna. If when Harry Met Sally, the old romantic comedy from the '80s, had Dead Baby in it, I'd probably have that movie on DVD right now. But
you don't own it, dude.
I don't own it though. One dead. And they call Rob Reiner and be like, listen, buddy, put more dead babies in your movies. I'm on the bucket list. Anyways, but no, it was just. I mean, you didn't even see that one coming. It was still kind of like, oh shit, holy shit moment. But then what happens is when they get picked off, and it's almost always off screen. The next thing you see is the hearse driving by, and you see that person in the back of the hearse, and they're, trying to get out or whatever. Yeah. The one thing, and I'm jumping out real quick out of the storyline, that I dug right from the beginning, and I'm sure, I mean, I've read some reviews, because after I watched it, I was just curious what other people thought, and I think a lot of people just kind of missed the point, because a lot of people, I think, didn't quite get the humor. I think it was intentional. I think a lot of people thought that they were just, it was just badly written, and it was just meant, or it was like, trying to be serious. There's a lot of just ridiculous humor in here, and the son, for one, Richard.
Yeah.
They did a pit stop in the middle of nowhere, and he goes out to jerk off. I'm not making that up. He literally goes out there, takes a Playboy. Did he take the magazine, or was it just a?
I think it was a magazine.
Full magazine.
He sticks it to a
Tree, and he goes going out, and then of course
with a Zippo.
Yeah, he has a Zippo. He was like, see the titties, and he's fucking beating off. Yeah, and I'm laughing. I'm like,
Who
this
does
is,
that?
Exactly, because it's so ridiculous. And he was just like every like cliched character rolled in one. He was a druggie on top of that, like. You know, at one point he confesses that he smokes pot, and then
it's the girl. She's like, I'm pregnant.
yeah, and then he goes, yeah, I smoke pot, and they're like, oh my, but literally the next time they stopped, he's out smoking a J right there, and I'm like, that is fucking hilarious. I like, he's talking because he finds out he's gonna be an uncle, so he's like, oh, I'm Uncle Richard.
Uncle
He showed
Dick.
me, yeah, Uncle Dick, because I'm your Uncle Dick. He shows some respect. I mean, it was so ridiculous, but at the same time, it was. I'm sure it was meant to be that way. Like they wrote it this way. The mom plays it very straight at first, like very serious. Every time Richard will say something, she's like, "Oh, Richard, stop," But then she has her moment where she kind of fucking snaps after Richard dies.
Yeah.
And dude, but it's fucking hilarious. Like I was like, she's eating this pie in the back, like this pie she was trying to take care of early on the road trip.
Chocolate pumpkin.
Chocolate pumpkin, and dude, then she's back there like. Dude, she's pigging out on it, licking the dough. I mean, it's out of context. You guys may not think it's that funny. When you're watching the movie, it's so bizarre and weird. That's how she's talking. I mean, her whole voice changes or whatever. She's just more childlike, kind of stupid. I mean, it's hilarious. Like he said before, they are on this road. Like the whole movie takes place on this massive highway. It's just never ending. And there's
not even a highway. It's really just like
just
back road.
A back road that just keeps going. And they talk about how they went. At one point, we've already been traveling over 100 miles. Going over 50, we should hit the end. They had the map out. I mean, we should hit shore. But they keep going. Like they're still driving and driving. So you get the idea that they've been driving maybe 2, possibly even 300 miles on this road. I mean, it's hard to tell, but they keep going. And of course, there's no turnoffs. There's one sign where it's Marriott. It's like the next town's up ahead. They keep going. It's like it never. It's like remember Super Mario Brothers for 64 Mario 64. There's a staircase, and you just fucking keep running up it, and it never fucking ends. It's that, but the road version of that. So yeah, once again, you kind of find out that toward the end, like the twist, and even the twist, I kind of like it because. Basically what it was, you find out that they did in fact have a big collision with this oncoming vehicle. The other vehicle was in fact the woman in white, lady in white, and her baby. And and you can kind of interpret it as, they were on this highway and they never got to the end, but you kind of get the idea that maybe they could have survived it. Maybe they all could have came out of the coma or whatever the case could have been.
Yeah.
But they do get picked off one by one. And the last one is the daughter. And I guess you can say it's death in this hearse that's, taking them all away.
Yeah.
And they just say, we're not here for you. And they drive past her, and then of course she wakes up, and the town they were going to, that Murad or whatever the hell it was, is actually on the name tag of the doctor trying to, save her.
Yeah.
And once again, I thought that was really cool. And like you said, I mean, it wasn't, even though I can kind of see it coming, it was still a good twist. Like it didn't detract from the rest of the movie. I still enjoyed it. Like I thought it was just fucking solid. But once again, there's a lot of and the ending. Here's what was kind of weird though, because I mean, okay, that is, if you look at it that way, it was all kind of in their minds more than anything else. However, there's a scene where it's just down to the daughter and the father, and they're driving. And at this point now, the father's losing his shit, so he's already kind of, you can see he's already losing sanity. He gets the paper out. He's kind of making a bucket list. I just mentioned that earlier. Anyways. He's writing on there, and like the first thing he says is like he wants to get a PlayStation or something like that, or Atari.
Yeah.
And so he writes the Atari on there. But then he writes something else on there, and of course when she asks him, what else you writing? He's like, it's none of your business. He says something like that, At the end of the movie, however, and it was post credits. There's a small post credit scene during.
This was like mid credits.
Yeah, mid credits. Yeah, because it literally was like it was right there. you see these two guys working, you know, cleaning up the mess. They find that paper there, and you're kind of like, okay, wow, they kind of alters it a little bit because that whole sequence was just in their mind. Where'd that paper come from? And you find out what he wrote was he wants to be the coolest grandfather because he did find out he's had a grandson on the way or grandkid on the way.
Yeah.
So it does make you wonder, like, okay, now you know, did it all happen? It's a very ambiguous ending, and I like those endings. I like the endings that it's not clear. Like I couldn't tell you exactly what happened because it's left up to interpretation. So definitely stick around if you do watch it. Stick around for. I mean, it's really short. I mean, it's literally like maybe 5 or 6 credits pop up, and then it happens. I mean, it's really it happens immediately. And then cool thing is at the end, the nurse, whenever she leaves at one point and she sees the guy who was pretty much deaf. You don't realize at first, but you know she talks to this guy. And of course, he's like, so they're all gone but her, and she's like, yeah, unfortunately, her car doesn't start. And of course, there's the hearse that pulls up, and he gives her a lift. And of course, they can be interpreted like, yeah, she gonna go next, you know. So it's just a really cool movie. There is a tiny postscript to the end of the credits. I did stick around because after I saw that little mid-credit scene, I was like, is there something at the end? And 2 things popped up. The first thing, which is not even plot related, in the credits it says, like after it goes through all the credits, there's a little mini paragraph thing that says, man, you must really love movies.
Yeah, you watched this.
God bless. Yeah, you watched it all.
The whole thing.
So, you know, good for you or something like that. And then at the end, there's just a picture of the family. That's just what it fades out on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I gotta say, overall, I'm really glad I came across this movie because it really is solid.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's a solid picture. I recommend it. Now, once again, of course, we did this kind of spoil the shit out of it. I truly don't think that will take away from it. Because once again, like I said, when I first watched it, I could see where it was going. And it was at that time, 2003, was a time when they were all doing that fucking twist at the end. Because Sixth Sense came out in 99. And after that came out, they all started doing the whole, well, the others did that, they did a twist similar to that. Like I mentioned, Soul Survivor. So they all, I just remember at that time, that was the thing. So, I don't know, once again, when I watched it, I kind of had feeling, yes, we're going down this road right here. You know, not just the endless road, but, you know, the road right there to the twist ending. But at the same time, it's very enjoyable. I like the characters. I thought the character interaction was great. Just the overall comedy tones of it. Like I say, it was just really, it had goofy moments, but at the same time, it was still serious enough to keep the plot going, you know. So, anybody got anything else to add?
It's a good movie.
Right there,
Really
it's good.
movie.
So definitely check
Absolutely.
that out. Well, up next, we got Trick or Treat, the 2007 horror anthology. Once again, we're in your lair here. Please take us on the road here.
You know, I just like with the last one, I just kind of open it up with something
All
brief
right.
and then let you take it over.
That'll
I
work.
mean, first of all, extremely underrated.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Extremely underrated. Something that I think I came across several years ago. You know, I'm a big fan of Halloween, like not just the movie, but the holiday and everything. You know, when you see this Halloween related movie, and that's cool. You know, so I put it in. I obviously like characters with sack masks.
Yeah. You're a fan, obviously. So yeah.
So you know, I check it out. You know, and perfect. It was something I don't know if I would. I'm not saying I'm not really. I'm trying to say, I don't know what really compelled me to watch it other than those little elements.
Yeah.
It was just watched it and loved it. Like it was just like you said, it's an anthology movie. It's several small stories or a few small
Segments, or
stories.
whatever we call it, yeah.
But and actually, we were talking earlier before we started filming. You know that it reminded me of the Tarantino. Well, he did one part of it, but the Four Rooms thing.
Four Rooms, classic.
Not a horror movie. No.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, fam.
We have other taste here, so.
Where it's 4 stories, but really they're 4 different stories, but they're all connected.
Yeah.
And this was like that. It really, really reminded me of that, and it was just a really, really good. I mean, I think, and this is something else. I don't mean to steal the words from your mouth.
Go
but
right
it made
ahead.
a lot of sense. I mean, it's a movie that I think that this is tough to say, but just like Halloween, should be something that will be watched on Halloween. Yes, a Halloween staple for years to come.
Oh yes, absolutely. Instant classic. I mean, that's a term that gets thrown out a lot, but I really do think this will be one that will withstand the test of time.
Very, very cartoony,
Mhm.
but fun, And, you know...
enough horror in there to not make it too cheap. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
still,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it walks that line of goofy cuteness, but at the same time.
And Sam.
And Sam, oh my god, I fucking love Sam.
New horror icon?
You know what? Yes, I really
You
wish
think
they
Jason
would.
and Michael are going to let him?
I would love to see another Trick or Treat, and it could even be, because once again, Sam is the personification of Halloween. He is this little kid who follows trick or treaters around. Even he goes up to the door to get candy, and he's very protective of traditions, Halloween traditions.
Yeah.
No matter how obscure they could be, he's protective of it. And I don't. And this is one that it does fall underneath the protective bubble, so I won't say spoilers or anything like that. But it's like there's certain scenes where it's like if you do the right thing, he will leave you alone. You offer him the candy, something like that. Hey, he'll back away. He is just almost there to protect Halloween. He is like the guardian of Halloween, and I don't really see him as evil. I kind of see him as he's this. I mean, granted, maybe he takes Halloween a little too seriously, but at the same time, it's like he will leave you alone if you enjoy your holiday, you don't ruin it for anybody else, and you do what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I would love to see maybe another one in a neighboring town, because I don't want to see this like same town. I want to see like maybe another small town in America celebrating Halloween, and another 4 stories that just get kind of interconnected. And I would love to see him, because I feel like maybe he's bringing this weirdness around with him,
Yeah.
And I would love, to me, I don't know, I watched it, because I've only seen it twice. I watched it way back when it came out on DVD, because actually, 2007, but I believe it wasn't released theatrically until 2009. Because there was a whole
That's probably about when I saw it.
Yeah, there was a whole holdup. I don't get why, but I remember. It took a while to get out there. So when I finally got a chance to watch it, I watched it, and I was just like, "Holy shit! Like this is just awesome!" Like I was instantly blown away. Like I was just like, "This is just awesome." Love the concept. I love anthology horror anyway, and like you said, the fact that it's connected makes it even better, because it. Like with Creepshow 1 and 2, don't get me wrong, I like Creepshow 1 and 2, but it's like they're all standalone. I mean, they do have a theme holding them together, but at the same time, it's like but there's something about this that it don't really feel like it's different segments, because they all kind of go at the same time. Like they cut back and forth between this girl getting ready for a Halloween party, or this father and son getting ready to carve up a jack-o'-lantern or whatever. These kids, who there's a legend, about this, man who drove us. One of the creepiest scenes, by the way, is the flashback where they show all these kids on this bus. Now, I'll tell you the legend, because it ain't giving anything away with the story-wise. This is just the legend they talk about. This man who was driving, like, the short bus for all these, special needs kids, whether they're actually retarded or they're just, mentally disturbed or whatever the case may be. But there's 8 of them, and they all have these masks on, dude, and it's eerie as fuck. Like, I don't know, man, because the way they shoot it, there's, like, this light fogginess to it, like, it's supposed to be a flashback, but it just looks fucking creepy as shit, and he's paid by the parents of these kids, which is even the most horrific thing ever, to get rid of the kids. And I don't know if he was supposed to drive him off the cliff, or if he was just supposed to poison the candy he gave him. I don't know. Either way, the kid gets out of it and kind of ruins it for everybody, kind of thing. Yeah. Either way, it was just like, holy shit. That's one thing I like this movie too, and you can tell it was definitely more of an independent release, because there was a lot of, I'm not trying to give anything away, there's some child death in this, and I like that, because I was like, yes!
There we go again.
Not pulling any punches, man. I mean, they go right for it.
Yeah.
There are certain segments, you can kind of see where it's going. But I will admit, and I'm not going to give anything away, but there were certain segments that I was shocked when it actually happened. And it's cool that when I rewatched it last night, that I was like, oh yeah, we watched it this morning, yeah. My timetables go together. Yeah, we watched it this morning.
We never sleep.
We don't. Yes, we're creatures of the night, we were endless. That when you rewatch it for the second time, there are little clues, they're just little things, and you're just like, oh, fucking yes, how did I not know that? No, it's definitely a solid watch. I mean, as far as horror anthologies go, as far as horror movies go, great acting all around. I mean, the performances there. Brian Cox is one of my favorite actors anyway, because he can do anything. He did like Super Troopers, The Ring, this movie. He's done like little gangster movies. I mean, the guy is literally just he's very well crafted, well-rounded actor. And this one, I love the character in this one too. And once again, not really getting into it because you see in the trailer, he does kind of have a run-in with Sam, and I love that whole showdown. It's so fucking awesome. Sweetie, we've been talking this whole time. Give us your review.
It was okay.
What?
Because
there's always one.
Because
no spoilers.
it jumped around. And
So you didn't like the jumping around part of it? All right, fair enough. I'll respect that.
Not a Tarantino fan of this.
He's definitely not. But anyways, but no, I would highly recommend this. And like I said, it's
highly, like 12 out of 10.
Oh, easily, yeah. I mean, it's damn good. It really. I mean, this really is a. I unfortunately don't own it. I need to get this movie, but this is definitely one that I could easily watch every October. You know what I mean? Like this would be my Halloween tradition right here. I mean, I'll watch. I usually watch Halloween 1. I usually try to get 4 in there. And then we watch Hocus Pocus, and that's usually the 3, but I can easily bump out of Halloween. It'd be hard to do, but I would easily integrate Trick or Treating in there. So
yeah, I'd replace Hocus Pocus immediately.
Not a fan. But yeah, anything else to add?
Oh no, man. I mean, two great movies.
Really good double feature here. It really was.
It was, and it's two random movies. Really nothing in common.
Nothing at all. Well, initially, and I said this at the beginning of the week on video, and I'll explain why. When I did the top 3. The 2 movies we were going to review was Borderland and Dead End, and they were just 2 independent 2000 movies, and because I think Borderland was actually 2007 also, and then Dead End was 03. So I was like, all right, and that was kind of like the connection there. Somehow, and if anybody from Netflix is watching, maybe you can answer this for me. Like I saw both on Netflix. So I was like, all right, this is where I'm gonna watch them. And then over the weekend, like Borderland just disappeared. Like it vanished. It never existed. I was like, what the fuck? And I couldn't find it anywhere else. So I had to do a quick audible, and I went through the list, and I was like, well, what else was in 2000? And I found Trick or Treating. Like, you know what? We haven't reviewed it yet, and did a switcheroo. So
all right,
that's how we do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right. So well, we got nothing else. Check them out, and I guess we'll get on out of here. So once again, thank you, my man, for having me here.
Thanks for having me.
Man with no name.
On the show.
Oh well, hey, thank you for having me.
And I'll be back again.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're always welcome.
I won't be so spiffy every time.
This is a special occasion because he's back. It
is.
He's one of the earliest guests who's been on the show, so I was really glad to have him back this time around. So on behalf of the man with no name and Maya, I am the Movie Phantom, and we're out.